Mic check, mic check. I hope you all can hear me. Give the brother some time. If not, we'll go ahead and get started, but I'll definitely give him some time if as you guys file in. If you're catching this live. If you are catching it live, I hope everyone had an awesome Christmas. Holidays season still in effect. I think we got like one more. We have New Year's coming up. If you all are checking in, if you can hear me, please put a 1 in the chat. Please put a 1 in the chat. This will be short. Especially if the brother doesn't come in, it'll be short, but it'll be impactful. It will be impactful. Shouts out to everyone. Hope everyone's having an awesome holiday season. And I'm looking at my Christmas tree in the background. I don't know if I'm going to take it down this year. I got a brother who had his on for the last, I think he had it on the entire year. That's my I'm not even gonna put him out there. But he never took his Christmas tree down. He had it a year round. I know Lil Duval did it. He made it known. Let's go. We were supposed to do it at 4. The brother kind of went on vacation. He said he'd be right back. He'd be available at 4 o'clock, but I know what international travel is like. So maybe he'll check in, maybe he won't. I will get started in about a minute. So as you file in, say hello. Say hello. And then we'll get into it. Give you about a couple minutes. I should have like some music. Oh, I do have music. Let me play this intro. I'm learning. When I'm telling you I'm learning this thing, and I think we're supposed to switch platforms. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready. Already 7 minutes in. Hopefully the brother will jump in. If not, we'll make this quick and easy. Next year, next week, next week will be New Year's. So I know as we go into the New Year season, there's often this thought about New Year, new me, so on and so forth. We've been doing this for a long time, at least since I've been born. I kind of stopped that years ago, maybe 2013, 14, something like that, is when I stopped going into the new year, new me, and I started immediately. Immediately, whatever goal I wanted to work on, I didn't wait until the new year to start. Let's, for instance, the gym. If you decided that you were going to make your fitness a focus for the new year, I would just start today. I would start tomorrow. We don't even know what's promised to us, or if we're exacerbating something. So why not just start immediately as possible? And you don't necessarily have to be in the gym, but start studying things surrounding the gym. Start studying who you're going to be. Am I going to get a personal trainer? If not, am I going to be doing this digitally? Am I going to be doing it home? What's going on with what gym am I going to be going to? How am I going to fit that into my schedule? So on and so forth. Uh, there's a Peter Drucker mentioned something, says what gets measured gets improved. So how am I going to measure these things, not to make it subjective? It doesn't matter. Feeling good is great. However, if you can objectively figure out what your goals are, it makes it clearer. So that was one of the things that, and I'm going into this reflect, inflect, and projecting our way into 2025. One of the things that I realized this year as I reflect on this year is that I needed to make things more objective. I needed concrete goals, concrete numbers and metrics that I needed to hit. When you do that, it makes things a lot clearer. And as you take the steps in order to be, to reach those goals, you start to find more effective ways of reaching your goals. We can stay with the example of the gym because a lot of people know and understand that. Yeah, and I'm already understanding and knowing that come January, there's going to be an influx of people, and especially after what a lot of people did during, the Christmas vacation. A lot of people tend to go off their goals during the Christmas vacation. I can empathize with that. And so we all load and we go into the gym hoping to feel better. Now, here's the interesting thing about the gym and most every other things that we do in life is that it doesn't feel good initially. You know, the first week of going to the gym and actually hitting it hard, and if you hadn't been in a while, there's something called delayed onset muscle spasm syndrome, something DOMS. I know the is the acronym. And so that in it of itself is enough to kind of get you out of the gym. And now you're starting this whole cycle over again. So we have to notice these different patterns. And a lot of these patterns start with the different feelings. And then everyone else is going. So here's this motivation that's happening. And so everyone gets caught up with it. And motivation, like most things that are just feelings, it tends to go away. So the best way for us to keep steady and consistent in whatever practice it is or whatever it is that we want to improve on is to write it down, make it clear, make it objective. This first week, I will spend 20 minutes in the gym, 20 to 30 minutes a day, walking, whatever it is. Maybe I'm lifting heavy. I don't care. But I know that if I don't feel good the next day, I'm still going to at least get a minimum of these 20 to 30 minutes. And then every month, I'll add an extra 5 to 10 minutes to the gym, a minimum, right? Up until I get to 60 minutes. And then when I reach 60 minutes, now I can start working on things that will make my gym experience, I would start doing things that make it more effective for me being in there. We have to stop. We don't have to do anything. what I what I understand is we have to start making this a lot simpler than what we are doing. And what happens is when we get into these feelings and these different emotions, we complicate things. That's what feelings do. And it doesn't matter whether it's what we would think of as a good feeling or a bad feeling, positive or negative. Some people may think that love is a positive feeling. So it complicates things. Anxiety, excitement, it complicates things because we can't really put a finger on what it is. And if we can't put a finger on what it is, then we're no longer effective. So let's start making things more objective. let's starting let's start to get more clear on these things, and we've set these metrics, the minimum, because especially if you haven't been doing anything anyways, right? So number one, start now. It's the 27th. Tomorrow, go into the gym, go get a membership, or go online, see what kind of training you're going to be doing, seeing if you're going to get a personal trainer to at least get you nudged in that direction, and then set minimum goals. What is the minimum? 20 minutes. Maybe it's just walking in the neighborhood. 20 minutes, a minimum of 20 minutes 3 times a week. We don't have to complicate things. We weren't doing it anyways. So we don't need to go 5, 6, 7 days a week because we feel like that's what we need to get this thing started. No, just minimum. Maybe it's cleaning out the fridge before uh, New Year's, right? Get the junk food out of the house. You don't need it in the house. You're gonna overeat it. The chips, the Oreos, whatever. If you feel like you need it, go get it that day. Go get a small bag of it. Let's start to with minimal changes. Um, Also, in the reflection, is that we tend to reflect on things that went wrong, and that's why we want to make the change, right? I think it's important as we reflect is to figure out what is our foundation. Where are we? Who are we? That's a good thing. It's a good thing to observe and be cognitive of who we are right now. That's a great thing, wherever you are, because you're here and you're listening. That is your foundation that you start on. I'm here. This is the foundation. And then I'm just going to improve on it, right? I'm not going to think of, oh, I could have ate better. I didn't eat good. Where am I? I'm 200 pounds, right? Where do I want to be? I want to go to this. I want to go in this direction. So start there. Start at the foundation. Start at with what you are and be happy because it could be worse, right? So let's not reflect on the negative things that went negatively. We're just going to start with where we are, and then we're going to improve on it because there's a lot of lessons that you've already had this year. They weren't failures, they were lessons. So let's start with the lessons. So that's the reflection part of it. Now we go into the inflection. At what point did I notice these things and I started to make the change to the positive? And for most of us, the inflection is just going to be the awareness. So let's say in a positive way, what did I become aware of this year? Like, like what did I become aware of? You know what you became aware of because you wanted to change it. That's the inflection. It's I became aware of it, and I made a decision to change the direction of where I was headed, or I continued in this way, which is fine because that was your inflection point. Your inflection point is when you become aware of it, and then if I made a change. This means so knowing this information now, next year you'll probably have a lot more inflection points because now you're going to notice that, hey, I'm aware of this thing that I'm not quite happy with. I know I can improve on it, and I'm either going to do it, make a change, and see where that takes me, or I'm going to stay the same, right? And that within itself is awesome. And then the last, because I did say I was going to keep it short, I'm looking at we're almost 20 minutes, is the projection. This is coming up with that concrete plan of what you're going to do and do it consistently, right? Um, Me, for instance, I realized that I was consistent with certain things and I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. I was still consistent. I just wasn't getting the results that I wanted. So what am I going to do different? And how am I going to project that into 2025? And you got to walk. This is the process that it's better if someone walks you through it. And I can't take. I want to definitely give the the information I'm getting now with Dean Jackson. Go check him out. One of the best marketing coaches ever. Definitely in real estate, probably number one. But he came up with this RIP, the RIP, RIP, which is the reflection, inflection, and projection. And so he was able to walk me through this different process. We did it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, specifically for business, but you can take it and you can use it in all parts of your life, right? And so it was like, what did I do and consistently this year? And how do I plan to improve on that? I was consistent with sending out certain mailers. I was consistent with my advertising. I mean, this is in some of the most interesting parts of 2025. I stayed consistent because I had this goal, I had this metric, and then I had someone to push me. Right. I had someone to check in on my weekly check-ins. It was like, are you getting this out? My weekly email. I did this every week. I was sending out my weekly email to my list of clients and prospects. My marketing, I was doing it continuously to the point now where I've gotten 1,000 leads. I know how much each lead costs. I know what my return is on the lead. Okay. So it's like, and then now what we do is we stay consistent with this because consistency is my word. We, Joel and I have been doing this for close to 3 years. We're consistent with it. A lot of people start and stop with their different informations. Even today, unfortunately, he was away, but I'm going to consistently do this. And how am I going to improve on it? And even within YouTube, you're going to see a vast difference of how we move forward with this YouTube channel and podcast or whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, this media channel, the type of information we have, the formats, because we've been consistent with it. Now, how do we start to become more effective with it, right? And it's tedious, but you can turn tedious into fun to where you're not even paying attention to what exactly this is while you're doing it because you've become this. Okay. All right. I said it was going to be short. We're 20 minutes in. I know 5 minutes was like the music, but I hope you enjoyed it. Guys, listen, I want to say Happy New Year before the new year. Be safe. The traffic is crazy here in South Florida. Shouts out to the season. It's definitely died down now after Christmas, but definitely want you all to be safe. It's peace, it's love. That's what I wish for all of you. Give that gift to yourself. Give yourself a gift of peace and love, joy. Add all that into your new year and just take it with you. All right. Any questions, any thoughts in regards to it? You all know to leave a comment. I'm going to send love from Joel because I know he wants to send you love as well. I appreciate you. And we'll see you next week, man. Have a great new year.